Yeah, this didn't work. I'm currently standing beside what is left of our '06 Civic. In the last video, we towed it over here to my dad's house. We were gonna get the new clutch put in so I could get it drivable, so I can save some gas getting to and from work. It didn't work out. So there should be a sleeve right there on the coming out of the transmission here, and you can see that sleeve is missing, and it's covered in oil all on the inside here. The pilot bushing, when it failed, actually busted that chunk of the casting out, causing it to leak gear oil all inside the transmission, inside the bell housing, and this transmission is ruined. So yeah, the car is junk. Unfortunately, it's just not worth it anymore. We've put a lot of money into this car, and I'll give you a little cost breakdown later on in the video, but yeah, this was a really big financial mistake that we made, that I made specifically. But yeah, we'll get into the cost breakdown.
So yeah, it was expensive. It was a big mistake that I made. So I want to give you a little bit of the cost breakdown of how much it cost us to fail at fixing this car. So the sale price of this car, it came out to about $4,300. When I test drove the car, it had some, you could tell it had some problems, right? I knew that the throwout bearing was bad. You could hear it just making a racket. So I'm like, okay, so it needs a clutch. It's going to need a throwout bearing, which means it's going to need a clutch. The battery was junk, so I couldn't put a battery in it. The high beams didn't work. A couple of brake lights were out. It needs a strut, and it needed tires. With that in mind, I was able to get the sale price down from $5,000 to $4,300, which is still way too much money for a beater car from 2006. But it looked like a great example, and I looked up underneath the car. My biggest mistake was when I looked underneath the car, I looked up underneath the left side of the car, which the left side of the car looked pretty good. The right side of the car, which I didn't look underneath, was just rusted completely out. It was just gone. So I should have looked under both sides, and I didn't. So we got the car home. I sent it to get inspected, and it failed, and he surprised me with the rust issue, and so I wasn't sure what to do with that. But that's okay. We moved forward with that. We got a plan figured out for the rust. I got all the parts on order. I think, all in all, I spent $323 on parts for that car. So not terrible, but that was before tires, the front end alignment, before I got the rust fixed, all that stuff. So once we got the car apart, I noticed that the brake calipers were very rusted. So the first time I do a brake job, I was going to have to replace the calipers too, all the way around. So it's going to be different than the truck. It would have been more money and more parts and more time. And when we figured out the transmission was bad, I talked with Tori, and Tori's like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Realistically, the sale price of this car shouldn't have been any more than between $1,500 to $2,000. So I jumped the gun on this one. This was a mistake that I made. And basically now we're $5,000 into a car that cost $1,500. So it's just no longer worth it for us. And then you would think, like, well, you're this deep, keep going. And we absolutely could, but we don't want to. I can't justify it anymore. So especially now that we spent more money on that car than we did fixing all the problems with the truck. So yeah, the car's dead. There's nothing we can do now. Because realistically, if I was to replace the transmission, it's $500 plus all the other parts I'm going to have to put in it. Plus, it still needs tires. It still needs brakes. It still needs the rust fixed. It still needs a front end alignment. We just can't keep going with this. So we are done. So what are we going to do differently? Tori and I are actually going to start looking at cars together. And we're not going to buy another car for right now. We have to keep the truck, unfortunately. But we're going to look at cars together. She's going to test drive it. She's going to tell me what she thinks. And we're not going to buy a car with so many problems that it's unfixable. And realistically, I didn't know, but if I had spent any time looking any closer, I would have known. So we are, we're going to look at cars together. We are going to talk about it. We're not going to make any rash decisions like I did. So good marriage advice for you too. If you're looking at a big investment like this, talk with your wife, talk with your spouse. It just makes it, there's a lot of wisdom. She's got a lot of wisdom and that I don't have, and she can see a lot more than I can. Especially, she's much better with numbers than I am too. So she knows a lot more. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. This video is short. Sorry, is what it is. I was traveling, so that's why the video didn't come up on time. So apologize for that. But yeah, we have to keep the truck, and our replacement is dead. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.